Hi, today we are going to address a very important question, and that is, can fixed property replace my retirement savings? Now we're going to look at three categories of property. The first one being residential property. Now many people think that they can at retirement sell their expensive property, utilize 50% of that, and then buy into a retirement village and use the other 50% to buy a retirement product. Now, up front, we want to say that a residential property is not a traditional investment. So in my 35 years, I've basically never seen somebody being able to do that, because what we see today is you sell an expensive property and then you use the balance to buy into a retirement village. So we say that is not a reason to utilize your property in terms of your retirement savings. The second property that we are going to look at is actually listed property. Now, when we say listed property, we're thinking about commercial property. That entails shopping malls, office blocks, storage space, and it can also sometimes include residential property as well. So we've seen over the last 5 to 10 years that listed property actually lost a lot of value. Now, first of all, at the end of 2017, the Viceroy report came out that targeted resilient, and that gave a great decline in the total property sector. We also saw that property rentals were on the decline. Why was this? Because we saw more and more people trading online, buying online, getting stuff online. So a lot of the retail space, a lot of the incomes from retail properties declined. As a result of this, we saw that anchor tenants, when they renegotiate their leases, when they were in the position to renegotiate it downwards, where the property owners wanted an increase. So we actually saw that over the last 5 to 10 years, we saw that a lot of the property incomes declined, whereas property companies actually paid an increasing dividend quarterly. Now, where did this money come from? And we found out that it came from borrowings. Now, that's an unsustainable situation to borrow to pay income. There's only about Eskom or maybe SIA that's able to do that. It's not possible on a listed property, in the listed property space. So when we look at listed property, we see that listed property is not really suited to replace your retirement savings. Thirdly, we are going to look at the buy-to-let property market. Now, this is for many people the place where they think that they are going to make huge amounts of money. And we must say that in the past, people did make a lot of money in the buy-to-let market. But what we see these days, that it's not as easy to make the type of income that you think you are going to make in the buy-to-let market. Firstly, because people buy in the wrong areas. You have to buy a townhouse in the right area where your internal rate of return, that's just what you get a net out of your property, where your internal rate of return is high enough. Now we see that most people don't really understand the buy-to-let market. They don't really understand that there's levies to be paid, that they sometimes still have to pay their bonds off on that. And when you talk to them, they would tell you that I'm getting a 10,000 Rand for this property, buy-to-let property of mine. And when you dig a little bit deeper, you find out that they haven't taken into account maintenance on the property. So many people, when they get to retirement, they need all the income that they can get from this property. So they don't make provision for an emergency fund. So when something happens, they don't have the cash to maintain that property, to paint the property, to do things that's broken in the property. So they think that they can live off the income, the total income. And we see when people really analyze that, at the end of the day, they see that their returns are dismal. We also see that in certain sectors of the buy-to-let market, the geographical area can deteriorate very quickly. And then you don't get the right tenants and you can't sell the property. So we've often seen that people that they think they're going to make a lot of money actually don't make all that money that they need in retirement. So if we now analyze the fact that property can replace your retirement funds entirely, we see that it's actually not possible. But it does not say that you cannot employ property as one sector of your retirement funds. So please make sure that you put property in its proper perspective when you look at your retirement savings and when you look at your retirement provision, so that you don't get caught with wrong property in the wrong place at the wrong time.